Thanks and welcome to join us on the Destiny TV or Destiny Kids Television. I'm Kejang Henry. You can get us online, of course, Facebook as we are streaming Destiny Kids Television. Now, it is out to promote education, culture, and vocational skills, which remains one of its primordial areas of intervention by the Destiny Kids Bilingual Nursery and Primary Schools. It is a chain of schools in Bepanda Omnispor and, of course, at Bonatiki in Daidu, that is in Douala. Cameroon will commemorate the Multiculturalism Day on Friday, February 25th, 2022. And to the build up to this, the Destiny Kids Television is very much delighted and, of course, involved in helping the children look up to what we would like to call hooking with their identity. And of course, this special streaming is out to let our televiewers have a taste of how Destiny Kids have brought innovation in an environment where the apprehension is that children born in cities are actually disconnected with their roots. Of course, my panel of guests today will include Gang Bobga Julius. I would like to address him as Ba Gang Bobga. Welcome, Ba.
Thank you very much for accepting to be our host.
Well, it's a pleasure, of course, to be with you on Destiny Kids Television. Of course, there is Nawain Quine Mirabel. Of course, he's someone who is so attached to, in fact, I must add, affectionately attached to her culture. Welcome, Nawain.
Thank you very much.
Still am I?
Tulai
Okay, I hope I got it. Thanks very much for coming. And let me just set the salvo with Bob. The multiculturalism week, I should put it, and the first of all, what does that mean to
Well, the Multicultural Day celebration in Destiny Kids Bilingual Nursery and Primary Schools, Bonatiki at Daido and Bepanda Omispo. It is a day that we have set aside that these children who are living in the cities, like you rightly said, most of them are born and bred in the cities. They have never had the opportunity to go back home to their roots. They have never got the opportunity to, let me say, rub shoulders with their culture and many other things.
I'm meeting the grandparents.
So when we have this opportunity, we used to set aside this particular day so that it is an opportunity for them to do cultural identification. On this particular day, we urge the children to speak in their mother tongue. We urge the children to dress according to the norms of their tradition. We urge the pupils to do cultural performances like ceremonies and so on, according to their cultural background. And on a day like this, we don't always accept that only the pupils should come, because there are things to cultural aspects that, let me say, we can be talking of Bali culture, and I am not from Bali. So we need their parents to be there to see. If they, let me say, if for instance, the children want to perform a ceremony like child naming ceremony, the parents are there and they are those to appreciate and know whether the children are performing this ceremony correctly. Because if you are not from that background, you will not know. Normally, in Cameroon, we have a variety of culture. On a day like this, you see that during this celebration, Destiny Kid Bilingual Nursery and Primary School used to be a cultural melting pot that you will see, like a Carrefour, that you will see people from all different cultural backgrounds, and the children, they are very happy. It is a day that will let the children to know that you can accept a person who comes from a different background. You accept the whys and hows of those people, because those people too must accept yours before we can live together in a multicultural society.
Well, thanks very much. I'll be coming back to you. Just to tell you that, well, he hails from the Northwest region, and of course, we'll be talking about the Bali culture. I can imagine what that means. Now, let me just turn very quickly to Mirabel. Mirabel, you heard Bob that talked about the fact that, well, these children are getting to hook up with their roots, and you are one of those who have been accompanying these children. How easy it is for you as a teacher to help these children, hook up to their culture?
Thank you very much. It is not really easy, but we are doing our best. Just like he said, there are so many children that have never gone to the village. They are just here in Douala. So we try to bring the culture into them. We teach them so many things, how to speak in their mother tongue, how to prepare dishes from their place, from their area. Like
their village.
I am in from Com. We used to teach the children how to greet, how to yes,
Aspects of phraseology.
yes,
Greeting,
greeting, how to count, even recite.
Oh, come on, that looks interesting. See, like we are seeing, how are other children from maybe different areas, not necessarily coming from home, eating into that? Maybe children from the south region. The last time I saw children from the east, because like Gamboka said, Destiny Kids schools are a melting pot of the various cultures that we have in this country. How is it easy for a child maybe from the north region to fit in with what you teach, maybe teaching the children, or you just take only children from maybe come and teach them the language, be able to hook up?
During the multicultural celebration, the children are divided into the various regions. We have the north, we have the northwest, the south, and the Bamileke. So we just group them. Those from the northwest, they are in one area, and we teach them the norms. We mix people, the people coming from the northwest. Although they're from the northwest, they have that different
Divisions and
yes,
village and
like somebody from Bali will have a different way of performing a marriage ceremony than somebody from Com. So we just join everything and we make the children to have a bit of all
everything. I remember before I swing to Gangbopga, I remember your group. You are from the northwest region. You are the cup holder. I must say, maybe the defending champion. Um, what actually will be the difference this time around, and how have you been preparing maybe to consolidate the trophy?
Last year, what we did was we had a dancing ceremony and then we had to prepare a traditional dish. But this time around, we will be enthroning. We will show how to enthrone a chief and also a marriage ceremony coming from the women. So we have to mix the two. There will be an enthronement coming from Bali, and we also have a marriage ceremony coming from the women culture before we have a dance.
I hope we are not letting the cat out of the bag.
Sorry. That's how it is. Okay. That's how it is.
All right, thanks very much, Bob. Yeah, you have injected what many people are calling now as an innovation through the Destiny Kids displays Cameroon's rich and diverse culture. Now, what was behind such an inspiration? Because it's like you sleep, dream. It doesn't just come like that, but there must be an objective in that inspiration.
Yeah,
Or did you see something
when
lacking
when the president even is talking of bilingualism and multiculturalism and so on, and if we do not inject that spirit into the children from childhood, our society can never be purely multicultural in nature, because you see, with multiculturalism, when we accept it and we practice the norms the way it is supposed to be practiced, I believe that there will be no tribal conflict and many other things. A good educational system should be an educational system that can interpret the society, knows the problems of the society, and knows that with the practice of education, it can go a long way to solve the problem. We cannot be preaching multiculturalism when we come to this to divide that. I am from this, I am Eton, I am this, I am this, I am this. And a Eton man would not like to accept a Bamileke man. A Bamileke man would not want to accept a person from any other different background. I'm using examples. But when we bring these children, most of these children, like I told you, they are born and bred in the cities. And so we must start teaching them to grow up knowing how to live with your neighbors, And so that was just the mind that we had. When you talk of what brought that idea to me, I thought of it and got the inspiration, and I knew that a situation of this nature can go a long way solving some of the problems that we have in our country. We have brought so many innovations in education because a good educational system should be able to put bread on your table. A good educational system should be able to solve the problems of your society. We are not only called Destiny Kid, like you called, some call us Destiny Kid, Bilingual Nursery and Primary Industrial School, and so on, because those are innovations. We don't teach children to go out there, retain formulas, and come back with certificate. Certificate has not got anything to do. We prepare our children for the streets, and we don't prepare the street for the children. So that is our policy.
It sounds interesting. There is this conflict of acceptance in Cameroon, where we are talking about, injecting the different languages, because I understand you are gradually helping the children to, maybe it's not going to come out very easily. You have the Mungaka, you have the Lamso, you have the Bangwa, the Mwe from the Bangwa land, the Bayangi language, the Dwalas, the Fulfudis, and so on and so forth. Do you face such difficulty in trying to help these children have a glimpse, a taste of what their language is?
Yes.
Necessarily speaking.
Yes, you know, the government, there is also a national day for mother tongue.
It was even
that the children are supposed to normally in schools, I will not say be taught, but their mother tongue, because in the various schools they must not necessarily have representatives of their villages in those schools, but they must carry some traditional activities. They are permitted to speak. If there are 2 of them in one class, or 3 or 4 in a school, or 5, they are supposed to form a group on such a day, sit down and they discuss within themselves. They enjoy their language and they express freely. That is the importance. So during such an occasion, we make them, with westernization, many people feel shy when you come to identify them with their culture. But the good thing is that we have made our children to know that their cultural identity is the highest identity that needs to be protected, and they are proud of it. Like our guy of Bamenda sings it, that word, we are proud of who we are. And we want the children to grow up and be proud of what they have and who they are. So
that sounds interesting. And be proud of who you are. It doesn't only limit to the Northwest region, but as an individual. I was just reading through, preparing some notes for a report yesterday, and I got to understand that, well, some of these languages are disappearing because they're now endangered, because our children are not taught our languages, caused by a good number of factors, which maybe we certainly know. There are some area displacements, migration, wars, famine, hunger, etc. But we discover that a good chunk of some surviving adults are still managing to handle such situations in schools, like in the Destiny schools. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that is what we are actually doing. In school, there are situations that even at home the parents cannot handle. It is because of their busy schedule too. So while in school, you must try to integrate all the facets that can. You see, I used to say education, it should be holistic. Education is supposed to be able to cater for every aspect of life. When an aspect is not given proper attention, then there is something wrong with that educational system. So that is what we are actually trying to do. But I am still encouraging everyone that even if a school is doing so at home, we should also give proper attention to what the children are doing, what the children are, the way they dress, the way a mother is cooking. I am from Northwest Province or Northwest region. I cannot see that my children grow up, they cannot prepare, let me say, my own normal meal, that they cannot prepare corn fufu. While their mother is preparing, you have to bring them closer and they do it. And many other things. I cannot afford to see that my own children grow up only dressed in the Western, forcing themselves to dress in an attire that might not even suit their environment and so on and so forth. So these are the things that we are bringing into the system so that everybody should grow. And I will not afford to see my child. If you are putting on a loin or the toggle from the Northwest region, you see somebody putting on Sanja from the Sawa background, you see somebody putting on the Aguada from the North and so on. You say that one is primitive, only mine is best. Multiculturalism is the ability to accept that we are in a multicultural environment and everybody has his do's and don'ts.
Now, thanks very much, God Julius. Mirabel Quine, how very challenging it is, for you guys who are handling these children to be able to have a mastery of what they do. I was very moved when I've been following these for the past couple of years, about three, spanning. But then I discovered that it was real Herculean task to work with these children and to help them, have a glimpse, in fact, a mastery of that. How very challenging it is to you guys, helping a child to be able to come up with a toggle, with the Sanja, like Prof was saying.
As a teacher, it is not really challenging because as a teacher, you are supposed to be diversified. We first of all go for research. When you come back, you use the same method you use in teaching a lesson. It is very simple. There is nothing so difficult.
I found that because dressing up those children is really headache.
Not like our school, we have some of the materials provided by the proprietor where we used to dress up the children. And for the beautiful Bamenda regalia, it is almost everywhere. So the children always come beautifully dressed.
I saw that, people have been exporting that regalia. Now, we'll be coming back to you. We're going to have our next guest who will be coming back. So we have, just to say, Prof. Gamboga, I want to thank you for having been part of this first segment of the program with the pious hope that, even tomorrow, because we'll be streaming till the day itself, and even after the day to show the world what Destiny Kids have been doing and Destiny Television is doing for our culture. Thanks very much for being on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting me. Before I leave, I would like to remind the public that our rendezvous is Friday. It will be a live occasion. We are going to be doing streaming from morning 9 a.m. till when the Multicultural Day celebration will be over. And we are inviting everybody. Come along with your children, dress from your houses according to the ways and house of your people. It is going to be a wonderful day. We are inviting everybody. It used to be a wonderful day, and we are still promising that it will be a wonderful day. This time around, we used to have the celebration with people from about 4 or 5 different cultural backgrounds. This time around, it has stepped up to 8 different cultural backgrounds, so it is going to be highly competitive.
And Prof, before you go, I discovered that, our the cultures from our neighboring country, Nigeria, Northern Brothers, Nigeria, very, very representative here.
Yes, I very much admire the Nigerian community because on a day of this nature, the parents, they used to come alongside their children, beautifully and wonderfully dressed. When you see their performance, you discover that they are together with their children. The parents come and they dance and they showcase their culture. It's an opportunity also because they are out of home, and so they use this opportunity to enjoy a kind of cultural jamboree.
And reconnect. Thanks very much, Prof. Gangbok Julius. I said, Gangbok, thanks. We are expecting our next guest in the course of the program. Meantime, Mirabel, let me just swing to you. You see on our screen, some displays. Those images are images of last year, and I can see maybe it's the Nigerian community, very representative here, and they were very much active during the last performances. I think most of the prizes won actually came from children who from the neighboring Nigeria, the Nigerian community. How do you enjoy their own culture to that they are exporting to us? And today, our children, whenever you are, you say Igwe.
The Nigerian culture is just rhythmic, all rhythmic. You see, even children from the northwest, the north, the east, they want to join the Nigerian culture because it's just beautiful. And the way the parents come out to celebrate it is just wonderful.
But can you choose? Say, okay, this year I'll probably like to move to the Nigerian culture, or I'll join the full day or the Hausas or those from the east to perform with them.
Yes, you have the right to choose.
Okay.
Yes, you have the right to choose any region you want to belong to. Or if you want to belong to the Nigerian community, you are very free.
Oh, that's great. Come on. I'm now joined by one of ours. It's been long we've not met, and very much involved in the culture of our country. I don't think there's anybody who is left out. Welcome, bro.
It's a pleasure for me being with you again, Mr. Kejan. Actually, a great pleasure for us to be on one panel again after, I think, 2 years.
Yeah, it's a very long spell indeed. It's a very long spell. Now, what are the ingredients that you are now struggling, because we are just about, today is Wednesday, we are just about 2 days to go, D-Day -2. What are the ingredients that are lagging to make sure the day itself is complete at the Destiny Bilingual Nursery and Primary Schools?
So the kids are already ready. The kids are ready. And I am much more involved with the Northwest region. And this time around, they have actually diversified their activity, even though at one point we wanted them to stay again with the same traditional rhythm. But this time around, I will not let the cat out of the bag as Madam already did. This time around, we went.
It was just a pinch of salt for what you expect. Come on.
We went in for another
Division,
still from the Northwest region, and we call it the dance steps, which are strange for me because the dance steps they used to take are ones that I master. But this time around, they have taken different dance steps, and I will equally be discovering it on Friday. So that is why I'm calling everybody to come and discover, because each year, because I think this should be the fourth year running,
something new.
So there must be something new.
Yeah.
And without letting, but I think our people should learn to know that something new will be coming up. I mean, those who are watching us should know that something new is coming up, madam.
Something new is really coming up.
Or
if you want to see, you're invited to come and join us on Friday. We'll not let the cat out of the bag again.
no, come on. But from the pictures that we get on our screens, it's already telling of what we are expecting to have on that day. Because always there is something new. Because I think for the past 3 years, it's been something new at every instance.
Yeah.
Drifting away from the Western culture. Now, how do you look at the approach that Destiny Bilingual Nursery and Primary Schools has implemented in trying to make sure the culture is driven down in the children and maybe on school curriculum? I was very surprised the last time I heard people were like, hey, ça c'est intéressant, on n'a jamais vu cela, mais ça c'est une école. So they were surprised, they were marveled.
I have to have hobnobbed with the proprietor of the two schools for close to 13 years now. And he discovered that we had the same passions. And when he started off this program, I think this should be the fourth edition we're going to. He has never let me out of the programming and the planning and even the execution. And one of the reasons I got involved in this is not because my kids are in one of the Destiny Kids school institutions, but it's because of the kind of project that this is bringing and the innovation that it is bringing. He talked about a holistic education. That is what we have been fighting for. Students, after the life of school, there is a school of life. Or before the school of life, there is a life of school. How do you get into society? The tabula rasa, all the certificates, nothing to show forth for. I am a musician. I'm a dancer. I'm a choreographer. I teach the common language. And I equally am so proud of Nibobga because he offered his institution, one of his institutions, for me to teach common language here.
That's interesting to know.
Yes. That alone had an impact on the kids. Just as we are saying, we have almost the same ideas, culturally speaking, and a version of an education that even the ministry is surprised that such can come from a school like this. So we hail all the Destiny Kids institutions for such an initiative.
Oh, thanks. I spent some few years. In fact, regularly I've been going to the village to visit my grandmother, and sometime I had to spend 3 straight years with her. And what I gathered was more than enough, at least from my grandmother and from my grandparents. But it's rather unfortunate, madam, that this time around we are not hooking up with our children. We stay in town, yes, multiculturalism day, multiculturalism week. After that, what next? We should be asking ourselves that question.
After, what we really want the children to do is that when they go back to the village, we know even though they are in town, they will soon go back to their roots. When they go back to their roots, they will be able to relate with their grandparents and with the culture. When they go back home, they will not just be empty. That is why we are bringing their culture back to them, even in town here.
Well, thanks indeed, quite Mirabel Nawine. Thanks for that. I like this, Togo. I think next time we're going to do the program entirely dressed in our traditional outfit. And I want to thank all of you, Bob, who has been here, and of course, Big Bro, for coming. And of course, you two who are watching us live on Destiny Kids television streaming. Always hook up with us. Tomorrow will be another edition of the program as we are closing up to the National Multiculturalism Day that will be celebrated on February 25th, 2022 at the Destiny Bilingual Nursery and Primary Schools in Douala. I've been Henry Kejang, your host. Goodbye.